Hey guys, and welcome to Beating the Press podcast, your weekly podcast where we talk about all things football. If that's your type of thing, click the like, click subscribe, click all of that down there. Give us a comment, give us a like, all that. Share with your family, all that good stuff. So today we are focusing on Liverpool. We often go off on a tangent with Liverpool subjects on every video, but this one we're actually going to dedicate to Liverpool. At the moment, we're going through a little bit of a sticky patch, and I think a lot of people will probably think that we only like to cover Liverpool when we're winning. So this is an ideal time for us to maybe stick the boot in a little bit with our beloved team. Now, I'm going to preface this with everything that we're about to say is our opinion. We absolutely love Jurgen Klopp, would never pick anyone over him, and I love my team. Isn't that right, Ty?
Absolutely. By the way, I've got no idea where this is going. I know we've got some sort of controversial statement. So when we say we don't plan anything, we don't. So I am just, I've got no idea what it's going to be.
You're here for the ride. Yeah, that's right. So I came across a topic on the Liverpool subreddit. I'm going to put a link in the description so you guys can click on there. It's great. It's a conversation between Liverpool fans. It's very, opinionated. It's very funny. It's brilliant. But one particular topic stuck out most recently, and the topic that stood out was, what is your most controversial Liverpool opinion that is unpopular? So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a quick few statements. I'm going to put them out to Ty, and I want to see if Ty agrees or disagrees with them and gives me his reasons why. There's a lot of stuff in there that I do agree with, but it's kind of one of those things that everybody's thinking, but no one wants to say it, because a lot of the time when you say something against someone's beloved club, somebody wants to tell you that you're not a proper fan, even with your own opinion. So the first thing that we are going to cover, if I can just bring it up. Right, so the first one is the 90-minute high line is a tactical error that Klopp refuses to give up on. I think sometimes we need to be a little bit more pragmatic, i.e. when we're leading, we can drop a bit further back instead of playing such a high line, especially later on in the game. What do you think of that?
I can see where people are coming from, but there's a way that Liverpool play. Liverpool are the highest pressing team in terms of intensity. So when I have no issue with the high line. I have got absolutely no issue. The issue I have is when there's no press on the ball and the high line. If you watch Liverpool, especially against Chelsea, it was Kovacic and Conte. They can get their head up. They've got 10 yards. You can clip a ball there. You got Thiago Silva at the back. You can clip a ball there. The issue now is you've got centre halves who are brilliant footballers. They can clip balls, and they're not hard balls. When your line is that high, you've got 30 yards of space in the hit, which means you can hit. You know what I mean? If we're playing and given that much time. So the issue is not the high line. The issue is the press, which I feel is just off at the moment for us, and it's because of the makeup of the midfield. It keeps on changing. We've not had a settled midfield. So when we had Henderson, Firmino, Wijnaldum, you knew exactly that press what it was. Do you know what I mean? You as an opposition player, very rarely would you have had the time to get your head up and able to play those balls as you are now. The other issue with it as well is it got highlighted more against the Chelsea game just because with no Alisson squeezes up higher. Keller, good keeper, is obviously not Alisson. And for me, you talk about uncontroversial statements. For me, I don't think Van Dijk is back to his brilliant best just yet. There was issues within that Chelsea game. The second goal, I don't think anyone will say it. I think it's his fault. He needs to get out there quicker. The distance.
Get across, yeah.
Goes, Van Dijk's got to get out there. Van Dijk's got an issue. He feels uncomfortable when he's that high. When he was fully fit and before his injury, he was absolutely comfortable. He got everyone out, and there was a real authority in that. At the moment, issue is obviously midfield, the press from there. The front three, I think Firmino's a brilliant presser. Not having him there. You lose those little pieces of the jigsaw, and then you just look at the most obvious thing, which isn't the answer. You look at the source, why it's happening. You know what I mean? So the line, if you look at it, it's not much different to what it was when we won the league. No one mentioned it then. You know what I mean? So that's my take on it.
Yeah, you bang on. The whole philosophy is about basically rushing the other team into a pass that they don't want to play. You don't want them to get their heads up, and it's like you said. Once one thing goes awry, the next thing goes awry. So for example, the Chelsea second goal, Trent pushes when he shouldn't. Konate pushes when he shouldn't, and then Van Dijk doesn't come across when he should. So
I mean,
it is a domino effect.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just explain to people that don't want to sound like we're experts or anything, but just like a really simple thing. So you've got a team, okay? So the reason why a team squeezes up is what they want to do is they want to congest the place where the opposition can play, okay? So there's obviously all that space in behind for the opposition to play the ball into. But when the opposition have got the ball in that area and the Liverpool are pressing them, those players can't play a ball with any quality. They can play the ball, they can kick it, but there'll be no quality. If they just kick it, it ends up with Alisson. We've got possession back. Now, the issue is when they've got no pressure on the ball, they can play those balls with quality into big areas for opposition to play on. Do you know what I mean? And when the way Chelsea play as well, they play 3-4-3, so the three are playing on the shoulders of the defenders. So they've got three sort of different 30-yard areas they can hit. But that's the reason why you do it. So in football, generally, you want to keep the game within sort of a 40-yard area. That's your front line, your front man to your back line. So that's why you want to keep it really compressed. So it looks bad when the ball goes there and there's all that space. But if you look at it as a whole and understand tactically what teams are trying to do and what managers and clubs are trying to do, that's a really simple way of trying to explain it.
So the second one, we need our first 11 to be fit for 95% of games to win anything. The skill gap is massive from our starts to our bench.
Disagree. I'd say 14 to 15, a drop off from there in certain positions as well. So if we go through, I think Keller is a brilliant number 2, by the way. He'll be Ireland's number 1 for a long time.
Yes.
I think keeper's absolutely fine. I think if you go through the defence, I think Trent obviously, and we've got I think Tsimikas at left back's a brilliant backup to Robertson. I think defensively we're fine. We've got Konate, Van Dijk, Matip, and Gomez. No issues there. Gomez can even play right back. You've got Nico Williams at right back. Midfield, the midfield is covered as well. But I think the biggest player in midfield is Firmino. We've got to have him fit. I think Thiago we've missed him in the last few games. He can dictate the, I mean, he's our Kovacic, he's our Jorginho, you know what I mean? That player who gets on the ball and dictates the game. So you've got Henderson, Firmino, and Thiago. And then obviously you've got Ox, Kate, and Harvey Elliott being injured and Curtis. Yes. I think we're all right, but I do think the quality from, say, Henderson, Firmino, Thiago to the rest of them isn't all that, you know what I mean? There is a bit of a drop off there. And then you look at the front four, the drop off from that four, that's big. Do you know what I mean? It's just having those injuries at the same time. So, I mean, I'd say when you get to like 14, 15 players below, that's when it's, a bit of a knock. I mean, we had a good side out against Chelsea. We had 9 players out, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that's a bit of a myth that has just grown some wings over the last few months, just because I don't completely buy into it.
Yeah, it's just, it's like you said, the key players when they're out, and in particular when they're out at the same time. You take Fabinho out, we don't look the same. You take out Thiago, we haven't got that creativity. And when Henderson's not there, we haven't got that player that's going to basically give everyone a kick up the arse and set the tempo. Not necessarily agree with it, but I agree. Certain players, certain times. Third one, people talk about Gerrard as the heir to Jurgen Klopp in 2024. This guy thinks that they're absolutely mental and need to stop being so sentimental. When Klopp leaves, I want to replace him with an elite manager at the top of his game, not going down the emotional Hollywood route. Agree? Disagree?
I agree. Do we really want to do what Man United did with Solskjaer? Mm-hmm. You've got, just look down across, Manchester. It's we don't want to go down that path. We don't want to go with the boot room way of Roy Evans, and it's just we've been down that path. It's not if Gerrard leaves the Villa and proves himself at a Champions League club, takes Villa to Champions League, challenges titles with their club, then yes. But he's got to get to Klopp and Guardiola's level, you've got to know. Well, like I said, we have got to be. We're an elite club, so you're going to get an elite manager. Do you know what I mean? If we ever come calling, I think only the best of the best are going to come. You talk about best in class. That's who we're going to get as a manager. I mean, I'm not saying in 2024 Gerrard might well be that. You know what I mean? So it's just
he's got to do something big, hasn't he? He's got to do something incredible.
I mean, Villa are getting some money. I mean, how long has he been in charge? What, about 4 months or something? Do you know what I mean? He's not even had a season in the Premier League. Let's see what he's like. Have a dip. See how he responds to that. So I agree what he's saying. Yeah, I mean, but Gerrard might be that elite manager. We don't know yet. It's only been 2. I mean, he's won trophies at Scotland, but there will always be that question mark over Scottish football. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not necessarily that I agree with it, but there will be that question mark whenever you win trophies there, because it's, you're up against one of the club, aren't you?
Next one, Jurgen Klopp's subs are absolutely atrocious. It's like he only planned on using the starting 11 and never thought about changing the team when he makes substitutions.
I get that. I've watched games and I've thought, yeah, and I disagree, but I get why someone would think that. Just talking about substitutions, he brings, whenever we're winning against a tight game, he brings on Milner, and you watch, Milner will come and he'll give about 2 or 3 needless fouls. He'll do the exact same thing. You know what he did against Chelsea, that first goal, for a player that experience, he does that in games when he comes in, and I don't know why he does it, you know what I mean? And
invites pressure.
Yeah, it invites pressure. But no, I mean, he's a player that I think, I don't know if this is going to be a controversial. I think there comes a point where you've got to start phasing him out. Do you know what I mean? You can't be playing, I don't think he's good enough for centre midfield. You could play him as a cover at fullback. Yeah, I wouldn't be playing him centre midfield, not with the players we've got. I just don't think he's not what we need.
Yeah, I just want to go on from that. I'm just trying to think of, scenarios where Klopp has changed the game with a substitution, like late on in a game. There's not too many times where we've been behind in a game where I think, he has impacted a game for the better. Maybe to hold on to a game, something like that. But if I think about like the best comebacks, like likes of Aston Villa, a couple of seasons back, it was Robertson that scored and Mane that scored. Obviously, there's, I'm nitpicking. There's probably little moments here and there.
Yeah, I'll stop you there. The greatest comeback ever, Gini Wijnaldum came on at halftime. Thanks for coming, Chris. I need a new co-host. But no, I do know.
Do you understand what?
I know exactly what
it's one instance, yeah.
But there's not. I think that era of bringing on your Sheringham and Solskjaer, it doesn't. I mean, I can't think of any. I can't remember Guardiola bringing on a substitution that changes it.
Yeah, because the argument, the counter argument to that is he gets it right most of the time. He's already right. We're winning the game. It's rare that he needs to actually do anything to on that. It's just you think, like you said, you think back to the Fergie era. You think these are the olden days. You think back to Jose Mourinho, where he bring on 3 players at halftime, and Chelsea had all this and turn it around. So yeah, there is that argument that he already most of the time had it right.
I mean, he did bring on Origi against Wolves.
Yeah, you're about to make a great point. He did bring on Origi against Wolves, and he also brought Origi on against Newcastle a couple of years back. So yeah, he has got his moments. So maybe I need to be a little bit more quiet on that one. The next one we're going to go on to is you've just mentioned it. Klopp should stop playing James Milner. Most of the time, he's a liability, but he's brave but reckless, and his passing is often inaccurate. Agree? Disagree?
I agree with that one,
yeah, so you kind of covered that one. He's kind of coming to the end of it. He's obviously a great squad player, great player to have around, but yeah, he just gives away too many reckless fouls. The next one is when Klopp leaves, we will be back to a mid-table / Champions League / Europe, running around with our heads cut off, buying expensive, overrated English players, and I fear Gerrard will be at the centre of it.
I mean, that's trying to predict the future. I think we've got the right owners in place. They're very prudent and very tight with their money, so they ain't going to let anyone come and do shit like that. So no, I don't see it. I think the big
you think that we're planning for when Klopp leaves well enough?
I don't know if he's going to leave. I don't think he's going to leave. 2025 might come. I might extend it. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? I think him and Guardiola probably be the last two. We call super coaches that stay with the club for. So long as Guardiola's been with the club, do you know what I mean? So long as Klopp will be, I think he's going to end up staying for longer. But let's just see, because he seems to have plenty of energy. There's that. I think there's a rivalry between Guardiola and Klopp, which will keep them going. It's a bit like the Messi and Ronaldo. They need each other to keep them going. You know what I mean? So I think that will continue to go, and yeah, I think it'll continue to grow.
We should try and play Matip at number 6 when Fabinho's unfit.
No, that's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. There was quite a few votes for that, just because of how Matip's been running into the midfield recently. But what you've got to understand is his mobility is completely different. He hasn't got the ability to turn. Like it's easy when you're running through, but centre midfield is a completely different game.
it's completely. You're picking the ball from centre half, but there's no, you've got a clear in midfield. You're picking the ball up with your back to play a lot of the time as well. You might come up as a 6 on the side and you're going back to front, but you can't then from there drive and vacate that area. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's it's completely 2 different positions. It'll go on forever, but no, it's a no for me.
Speaking of Matip is better than Van Dijk.
No, he's good, but he's not. No, there's games where he's played better than him.
Yeah, the actual comment was currently, but I just thought I'd spice things up a little bit. He's better than Matip. He's better than Van Dijk currently. Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
No, I think Van Dijk's not at his best, but I still think he's better than Matip.
Yeah. So on form, would you agree that he's better than him?
No.
Okay. Our best front 3 option is Jota, Firmino, Salah.
It's hard to disagree.
It's Mane's form. That's where I'm.
Mane's form. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, obviously Firmino's been injured, but I think if he was fit, I think that's probably the way he would have gone as well. But it'd be interesting to see how Mane reacts to that as well, because I don't think he's one that'd be very good. He'd take it very well being on the bench.
Yeah. Play, bench, sell from our magnificent trio. Took us to the title: Mane, Salah, and Bobby. Who would you play? Who would you bench? Who would you sell?
Salah, play, bench, Mane, sell, Firmino.
Okay, yeah. Well, with the argument is obviously with Mane, you probably get a lot more money back than what you would with Bobby, and the connection that Bobby has with the fans. But I suppose they all have some form of a connection with our fans. One that you probably might like here: we should have kept Gini over Thiago.
Yeah.
Reason?
I think Wijnaldum gives you that defense. He understands the position better in the way Klopp runs his teams. Not sure Thiago's not a better player, but I just think he obviously. I mean, Thiago had a phase when he first started. He was getting booked every single game, wasn't he? Yeah, I mean, obviously Thiago's a lot better on the ball, but Wijnaldum gives you that defensive stability. And it's we talk about the high line, and it's a little piece of the jigsaw. Wijnaldum's been part of it for years, so he understands it. Thiago's just coming to it. Not so Thiago won't grow into it. At the current time, if Wijnaldum's not getting a game there, I'd be looking at getting back for 6 months or whatever. You know what I mean? But no, I mean, again, it's not here nor there. It's not the worst thing in the world.
You know how big a fan I am of Thiago and how I wanted Gini to go, but I agree. Yeah. I actually agree, because like you said, it's about the system more than the player. Thiago's a better player, but he's better for us. So sorry, Gini, I think I might have been wrong on that one. Klopp, this is the last one. Virgil, Alisson, Robbo, Hendo, and Fabinho have all dropped a level so far this season.
Agree. I think Robertson's dropped. I think Tsimikas has played really well. I think when they're both fit, I think he's got a shout to start as well. I think he's been that good. I think he's improved. I think Fabinho. I think Fabinho's I just feel they've all had COVID, haven't they? I don't think we can underestimate the effect of COVID when players have it, because these are elite level footballers. You know what I mean? So when they have issues with the breathing and the intensity, they drops off, or they off that half a yard. Do you know what I mean? All that makes a difference. So. We'll see where it goes, but I think, I agree with that comment.
Brilliant. So that is it. I've basically grilled Ty on the most controversial topic on the subreddit. I'd like to know your thoughts. Obviously, our viewers that are watching at the moment, if you'd like to put all your opinions down below, you can feel free to answer them one at a time. You might actually fill up the comment box, but feel free just to put in your most controversial statements in there. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you agree with Ty or not? As always, if you get to this part of the video, give us a like, comment, subscribe. You must like something about it if you've got this far. I think we've been going around about a good 20 odd minutes now. So yeah, all that good stuff down below. Is there anything that you want to say, Ty, before you leave?
No, I mean, we do have a question of the day. So I mean, I'd probably say which comment from all those do you agree with the most? Let us know down below in the comment section.
The most impactful one.
Which one that you think resonates with you, and which you think is probably the most truthful out of all of them. But yeah, I didn't know any of those questions. But no, I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, good questions there. Well done, subreddit. But yeah, that's it from us two guys. Thanks for listening, and until next time, see you.
See you later, guys.